So I always had a fascination when it comes to studio props of what studios use during their movies. Like back in, I want to say it was February, January, something like that, maybe March. I was on the search to find out whatever happened to the mechanical or animatronic sharks that was used in the movie Jaws, all four of them. And I found my answer. I think the main one is in display. It's going to soon be displayed at the the Oscars. I think it's called the Oscars Museum. I could be wrong. But I always had a fascination. Like I said, I always had a fascination with movie props. Still trying to figure out what happened to the animatronics they used in Jurassic Park. But we're not talking about this one. Okay. But I always had a fascination with the DeLorean for some reason. I always did. Like, I think what really pulled me in was not so much just the movie itself, it was just the DeLorean, the time machine. It also looked cool, futuristic. I even got lucky. Back when I was a child, I actually have a neighbor that actually had one. And then his was upgraded. It had the LS motor and all. I think it had a Corvette. I don't know. It might have had a Corvette boost. That thing was fast. I got to sit in it one time. So every time I got to sit in the DeLorean. And it was random. Random person just moved to that neighborhood. And it just happened to have a DeLorean. And it was just daily, I think, too. He zipped that thing out of there. But I always had a fascination with this car. And so I always wanted to figure out and find out and investigate whatever happened to the cars that was actually used in the movie. So from what I found out, they used 6 different vehicles. 6, count them, 6. That's a lot. But the main 3, this is what they were. One was called the A car, which was the most known car, and also called the hero car. And it was the most detailed, most used of all the cars that they used. There was a B car, aka the wreckage car. It was used for stunts only, mainly. Then there was the C car, used for interior features. They even had to take out half of the roof so they can put the camera in there. This is also fascinating. So this is the fate of the 3 main cars. The A car, I had a chance to see it a couple of times in the past 10 years. So the A car was, after production, was mainly sent to Universal Studios Hollywood, where it sat on the back lot just to rot. And during, I want to say, probably up to 20, it could have been just 20 years of sitting on the back lot. They moved it around and everything, but I guess during those 20 years, people would have decided I'm going to take parts from it and put it in my own house. So basically, it was been stripped for the last 20 years. So Bob Gale saw the current condition at the time of the vehicle and decided to hire a couple of people to restore the vehicle. So they restored the vehicle, and it was put on display at the Universal Studios. I think it was called the Universal Museum or something like that at the time. It was the exhibit. I don't know anybody been to Universal Studios around 2014. I think it was 2014, 2013, maybe 15. I could be wrong. But it was near, the little museum was near between Transformers and Jurassic Park. Actually, in the middle of Jurassic Park and Transformers and the Mummy. Revenge of the Mummy. And you go in there, and it's basically sitting in there with a whole bunch of other props that was used in the movies. Biggest thing in there, of course. So I got to see that a couple of times. It was nice. They actually restored, had the lights on and everything. And then I think around like 2015 to 2016, they took down the exhibit, and I don't know what happened to the car after that. Maybe some people thought they put it back in storage. No. So this is what happened to the A car. They moved it to the Peterson Automotive Museum, which is probably 20 minutes away from Universal Studios Hollywood, on the Miracle Mile, next to the Miracle Mile, or Wilshire Boulevard. So it's at a museum right now on display, which where it should be.
That belongs in a museum.
The B car was actually destroyed by a train, just like the movie. So they really destroyed this thing on a train. I wonder what that sounded like. And it was helped to construct other different replicas, DeLorean replicas. And I think the body panels, mainly the shell, was moved to Planet Hollywood, Hawaii, to be strung up like a corpse. for everybody to see upside down above an elevator. And then after Planet Hollywood hit its bankruptcy and closed in 2010, that restaurant in 2010, it was sold to Bill and Patrick Shea, where they tell that, I think, a display. I don't know what the name of the museum. I tried to look that up, but I couldn't find anything. But I guess it's in Massachusetts right now as we speak. The C car was left at Universal Studios Hollywood, but its parts were put together to form other replicas. And I guess those parts, I don't know, the parts of the actual car itself was sent to Universal Japan for display. And then it was moved to a private company for display, which it is now. And like I said, there was 6 cars, so there's extra cars. A couple of them was destroyed, but there's one called the Oxnard car, and remains in Universal Studios possession at Universal Studios Florida. So I actually seen this one. I have a picture with this one too. And the one that was used in A Million Ways to Die, that movie, the movie I never saw, where Doc Brown had his little cameo with the DeLorean, that was actually Seth MacFarlane's replica car that he owns. So that's basically what has happened to all the cars. Now the train that was used at Back to the Future Part 3, I don't know if my memory serves correct. I think it was at Hollywood at one point in time. Maybe they shipped it, or maybe it was always at Orlando. I get both Back to the Future rides, but I know it was on display on one of the Back to the Future rides. And I think, still on display, I think it's still, maybe it could be a replica, but I think the train, I know it's a train, maybe it could be a replica that's on display next to the DeLorean in Universal Studios Florida. I didn't have a picture of that personally, but it's right next to it, basically right next to it. Maybe you might see it. I took a couple pictures. Maybe you might have a chance to see it, but it's still there. So that's basically what happened to all the cars and vehicles that they use in there. I always like to own that car. I always do. I guess you can get body kits and all sorts of stuff, but I know one thing. It's going to take a lot of money because once you get the car, it's probably going to be expensive. Or, probably do what they did in American Dad. I don't know if you saw the episode of American Dad with Stan and, what's his son's name? I forgot his son's name, but him and his son are basically trying to find, they built a DeLorean, I think it was, and they're trying to find a lost Goldwing door, because they didn't have a door to one of the Goldwings, so they had to look for it all across the country. So I don't want to do none of that, but one of these days I would like to own one, upgrade it, because 88 miles an hour at a high speed, no, can't be doing that these days. Prius can drive faster than that. So, yeah, one of these days.